How so?
When they were in the, they were building the tension inside the carriage.
Yeah, but the Coen brothers it wouldn't have been inspired by this particular thing.
I think, let me say this.
They're a similar, they're coaches.
Can I say this then? I think it was informed by this movie.
Okay, I can't comment
There
on
were
that.
similarities, lots of similarities in it, and that's fine.
Oh, but Coen brothers are suspenseful when they wish to be as well.
And I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm not attempting to. But as I said, we stand on the shoulders of giants. Mm. We take the good stuff, we use it, we reinterpret it, and then punch it back out again.
What was funny is I actually thought Kurt Russell was very good in this. I'm not a big... Look, he's a great actor, and a lot of people think Kurt Russell's awesome.
You're going to get shot for saying this.
I know. But I'm not a massive Kurt Russell fan.
No.
But I thought he was really
Kurt
good in
Russell
this.
can turn it on when he wants to.
I was really impressed, and I went, oh my gosh, he's doing a good job in this.
He's a good actor. The reason he is in so many movies is because he can bung it on. The reason... Paul's housemate
Jolie is being a good boy and cleaning outside. Okay.
I'm going to go smack around the head.
Oh, you are not. He's cleaning. Good on him. He's a good boy. But no, actually, I didn't find any of the performances bad. I found it strange that there was a New Zealand person in there, and part of me immediately went to the whole, at this time of Americans' history...
Who was the New Zealander?
Six Horse Jen, Zoe Bell.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah, but she wasn't in it for very long.
No, but my brain just went, that's a New Zealand accent. Was there New Zealand people travelling in...
It could have been. America was a place of immigrants.
I know, but my brain kind of did a bit of a turnaround.
But usually when people get to New Zealand, it's the last stop.
I know, that's what I meant.
They usually get there and then they stop.
And Wyoming in America, yes. Post-Civil War.
Speaking of Wyoming, I've got myself... have you ever heard of the film Quigley Down Under?
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it.
Okay. It's an American going to Australia.
Yeah, it's got Alan Rickman in it,
Yes, it does.
Yes.
So I'm going to put that in for next week.
You've got one already.
Yeah, I know. I'm changing it.
Okay. Where's my pen? Keep talking.
Jesus.
Why did you bring that up?
Well, I just think it's a nice follow-on from this movie because they're in Wyoming, and now from Wyoming, straight after that, let's go to Australia. Now,
what's it called?
Quigley Down Under.
Quigley Down Under.
It's Tom Selleck.
Ah.
Tom Selleck is the main Yank.
Well, I didn't know. I've heard of it only because Alan Rickman's in it,
yes.
but I haven't seen it.
So Tom Selleck brings his mustache over to Australia, and Alan Rickman, I imagine, is playing the villain because, sure, why not? If you're going to have Alan Rickman...
He's a great villain.
Oh, he's the best.
He's great everything.
A moment's silence for Alan Rickman. Oh. Okay, moving on.
But I actually I loved all the characters. I was really impressed with Walton Goggins, who played the sheriff, Matrix. Chris Matrix.
Yes.
He was hilarious.
Good. He was good. Oh, nearly died out there. Hey, going out there again.
Oh, no. That was the coach driver, Obi.
Oh, okay.
And I'm talking about the sheriff.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, he was very good too.
Yeah.
And ended up being... Oh, I won't do total spoilers, but
he was like the... at first you think he's going to be the bad guy, and then he turns out to be like the little innocent fellow in amongst all of this. It just made me laugh. So there's parts where you laugh, which is probably not appropriate.
Yep.
And I actually...
Who did the best job?
I actually really liked the girl who played Daisy Domergue. I thought Jennifer Jason Leigh did a great job.
She was foul, wasn't she?
She was great. Did you notice when she was playing the guitar, she was doing an Australian piece?
Yes.
I went, oh my gosh, I recognise that. I was shocked. So the mixture was really interesting. I thought the music was awesome, and I enjoyed it as a full piece.
Well,
which is weird because everyone else says bad things about it, and I'm like going, I'm actually thinking this is one of my favourite Tarantino films.
So you really enjoyed it, and you'd not seen it?
I hadn't seen it.
Okay.
When everyone I'm reading all the things going, oh, this is horrible, blah, 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 and I'm like, oh, I'm going to hate it.
No.
And
you can see what I'm saying about it being an extremely clever film.
There's other ones of his films that I realise people like them for their action, But, for instance, my husband really likes the Kill Bill movies.
Yep.
And they're fine.
Yep.
But to me, they're just
It's
fine.
It's live action anime.
Yeah, it's just fine.
Yep.
But to me, it wasn't. It doesn't float my boat. Where I love the suspense building in this.
Yep. Yep.
And I love the flip
There
of the end.
isn't
The
any-
last half done first and the
There
first half.
isn't. You go and watch it twice, and I did, just to make sure that I could say this statement. There is not a scene or a detail in that show that isn't wasted. Right down to looking at the floor and seeing the little
jelly
ball
bean.
bearing, the jelly bean on the ground.
I know. When they shot that, I went, why
Because-
is there an orange jelly bean? And when that scene happened, I went, so it rewards you for paying attention.
Because you think it's Quentin Tarantino, you don't realise that you're actually in an Agatha Christie novel until halfway through. And then you realise, but of course, some people find that difficult to make the turn sort of thing. But it's a detective show.
I loved it.
It's great.
Because it answers all the questions in the end, and you're like, oh, this is resolving lovely.
And then it goes out in classic Tarantino style, where everybody gets shot in about a minute.
Has their head blown off, yeah.
So,
But I know that sounds a bit gross, but I really enjoyed it.
No. Well, that's why I put it up, because I wanted to argue its defence.
Well, you don't need to.
No. Well, I think we both... We agreed. Okay.
Whoa.
So you really enjoyed it?
I love the music. Like even
it's Tarantino.
First scene,
I mean,
but when the first scene opened
superb
up,
taste.
how some opening scenes, because they're just taking a picture and putting up people's names, and sometimes they can be a bit long and boring.
Yep.
This one, even though it's shooting one scene and the camera's moving very slowly, that with the music linked in so nicely that I was actually enjoying just watching it.
Do you know why I like Tarantino?
Why do you like Tarantino?
First of all, he's brave. He will do things that other people won't do. You can have a whole crowd of mediocrity, and then you'll have him being brave enough to do the stuff he wants to do and to do it the way he wants to do it. And he doesn't give a stuff if you like it or you don't. Now, he tries different movies. This was an Agatha Christie style film, and he did it in his own style. And I think he did it superbly. And then you look at something like Django, which is something totally different. Whatever he does, he brings his own je ne sais quoi, I guess.
He has his own style, but he does change it around, tries different things, which I think's great.
Yeah.
We don't know if anything works unless you give it a go.
Yep. So that's why I love him, because he will do things that a lot of directors will try a few different things, but nobody steps as boldly and without who is so fearless in the way that they do something. Maybe the only other person I can think of is Alfred Hitchcock, who was also fearless, because he didn't have to prove anything to anybody. He was a giant of his time.
And he knew it.
And Tarantino is. And you look at the likes of, say, Spielberg. Now, Spielberg has done a lot of great stuff. He's done a lot of great stuff. Action, like Jaws and stuff like that. Stuff that he's never had to... And then he puts out something like Game Over, Player One or whatever.
Ready Player One.
Thank you. Which is
Yeah.
mediocrity, but superbly done. But it's still just a little ho-hum film. You know what I mean? Like Schindler's List and all of that. He's done some amazing stuff, but then he'll turn around and he'll put out something that's just, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like he has hot and cold, but he's got all the money and he doesn't have to prove himself, and he generally doesn't even try to step out, whereas Tarantino doesn't give us stuff. You know what I mean? And I love that, and he should be rewarded for it, and so he gets my support.
Okay. Was there anything you didn't like
I'm
about
sure
this
he
film?
feels better now at night. knowing that.
He just feels so wonderful and he doesn't know why.
Paul Harbottle likes me.
Was there anything you didn't like about this film?
And
I didn't ask you who your favourite was.
I'm not a big... This is going to sound stupid, but I'm not a big fan of films in the snow.
Why?
Well, they make me feel cold. There's something stark about them.
Yeah, it's supposed to be stark because they're stuck there.
What a
It gives that vibe.
See that guy who had to walk naked through the snow, and I won't say too much because but
you don't even know if that really happened or if he was just trying to egg the guy on, and you never know.
You never know.
If the letter wasn't true, was that not true? Was it true?
That's
It
right.
goes with your mind. I love that.
He is a mind player.
I know.
He
I
is
thought that was great.
an absolute player, and he comes at you in a million different directions.
But the thing is, you never know.
He was the best in it. I will,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I argue him over anybody else there. And, like, don't get me wrong, I love everybody else, and they did the role that they were supposed to play, and they all did it superbly. There wasn't a bad actor in it, but there were some standouts, and he was the standout. He dominated that movie. And he didn't get more lines than everybody else, but he had this wary menace that only Samuel L. Jackson can pull off. You know, he can be saying hello to you. You know, he's a little bit like Alan Rickman. You know, he really is. And I guess it's because he has so much practice because he's in literally everything.
He's in everything.
You know, we should do a competition and just do it like a month's run of just Samuel L. Jackson movies. And we could do anything.
Oh, you could do it easily because there's so many. But,
all right. So what did you give it?
I will give it an 8.
Big praise.
Yes,
Big praise.
the whole
I'm very
package.
happy with that.
Everyone acting, the way it was pacing, the way you're questioning it and having to think about it and noticing little things that are put there for you.
Yep.
Music was awesome. The way it was shot, I liked the snow. I thought it was good. 8.
Excellent. The only reason I don't like snow is I've watched too many, Eastern Front films.
Everyone's dying. in the cold.
Everybody's dying in the cold, and it can be in the middle of summer, and you're still going. I should put on Stalingrad at some stage of the game soon. It's the other Russian film that I was talking to you about. You know how I said that we should do another Russian film? Well, the Russians do a Stalingrad.
Oh, they do their own?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good. As in opposed to the German Stalingrad.
Okay, right.
Yeah, which is a grim affair.
Oh, yes.
We should put them up together.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Nah, you'd
Not
be
together.
right. No, the Stalingrad, the Russian one's quite entertaining.
No, not together because people just go, oh, and you get no one listening to that one. How many stars do you give The Hateful Eight?
What's it trying to do? Just bear with me. It's trying to do what we've just discussed. It does it flawlessly. Is there anything that you can think of at the top of your head where it doesn't reach out and achieve exactly what it's aiming for? It's trying to build tension, as I said, build the tension and then have the big kerfuffle right at the end in classic Tarantino style. So I think because it's not Australian, and B, there's no subtitles in it, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Ooh.
I know I've been very generous of late, but there have been some very strong films out. And I know a lot of people don't like this one, and I just think perhaps you should watch it and re-watch it with a different viewpoint, perhaps, because that's what it's trying to do. It's how can I put it? It is the Orient Express with guns.
No, it's not. It's not. Orient Express wasn't that good. No, it's just if they don't go in thinking, oh, it's only going to be action because it's Tarantino, then they'll be fine.
No, this is not that film.
No.
Go and watch Inglourious Bastards or Pulp Fiction or any number of other absolute iconic classics that man has put out. He doesn't have to prove himself to anyone.
No.
This is what it is.
He did the narration in that chapter, Daisy's Secret.
Yes.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah, he does a little cameo. He always he's a bit of a
Alfred Hitchcock fellow.
A bit of a Peter Jackson as well. Peter Jackson does that as well.
Does he?
He does.
Oh.
He's in all the Lord of the Rings.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh.
Prancing Pony.
Oh, okay.
He's a drunk that stumbles out of the side alley.
Oh, okay. Well, he would have loved that.
Yep. He even puts his kids on there. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's 9.5 from Paul and 8 from me for The Hateful Eight.
Excellent.
So, good thing we got that finished. Next week, we are going to... Well, I'm putting up The Usual Suspects because I've never seen it. Ever.
No.
So, I'm going to... It's in my list
You
of
know
things to
what?
watch.
I just remembered what I'd put up, and let's run with the original. I'll put on Quigley later.
You sure?
Yeah, because I really want to see that again.
Okay. So, Paul has told me to put up The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yes, which has got Samuel L. Jackson.
Nice.
So, there it is. Okay.
We'll have to remember quickly for the week after.
That's right.
Cool.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. And
Sorry that went long.
No, I know. Look, sometimes it's that. Well, I told you that the Dressmaker would spurn a large conversation. And guys, we turned it off and we talked for about 40 minutes after that.
Oh, no, we didn't turn it off, but we've cut out that 40 minutes.
No, yes, that's right. And then we turned it off and kept talking. Yes, it's a very deep film. So if you haven't seen The Dressmaker and you're a guy, don't be scared. It's great. It's hilarious.